That doesn't look like me, Maureen. Look at that TV there. Huh? Am I on? Thanks a lot, putting an animal in the picture there. Okay, planning board meeting is now open, 6 o'clock, February 20th already. Those who love watching us every other week, don't leave your TV because this will be a quick meeting. We only have one thing on the agenda. Our town planner is on vacation. And first up, Doug King Builders, discussion for South Street East property. Could you state your name for the record and...
Douglas A. King from 115 Main Street, Northeastern, Mass. And off of 512 South Street, I have over 100 acres of land in Raynham. And adjacent to the 107 acres, there's a comprehensive permit for 225 units, of which we built 91 units.
Excuse me, could you, unfortunately, we don't have a big plan for people. This is right near the Life Care Center.
It's in between the Life Care Center and the Buddhist
Temple.
Spar, the biggest one I've ever seen.
Okay.
I think that's over 100 feet tall, I don't know. But
Oh, it is.
Russ, let me turn your mic.
you want me to-
face him?
There you go.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you want, you can go right up there, then you can see us all.
Okay.
okay, so people at home know where we are. And you built Riverview Meadows back in the late 80s?
Yeah, 1987.
Okay, how many units are there?
The comprehensive permit was 225. The first phase was 91. It
And
was
that's what has been built?
91, and then there's two more phases of 134 units.
Okay.
And we paid the sewer fees and the water fees. The sewer, we dealt with Taunton in 86, and we brought the sewer main up South Street in front of Olson's nursery. Is it still Olson's Nurseries? Okay, in front of Olson's Nurseries. And Harry Carey was the DPW. He made us repave South Street. And then the water was a water commission. It wasn't the town, but it was a commission down by Harry Carey's DPW there. And we then paid the fees for the 225 units with the water commission. So we have water permits for 225, we have sewer permits for 225 units, and we just built 91. So we can build another 134 units. And the comprehensive permit...
Those would be 40B units.
Yeah, and a 40B permit stays alive as long as you build within the, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years from when you get the permit. So we built
So
that.
as long as you started.
Right.
The full permit is
Right.
good forever.
Right, because and so we could build that. I don't think that's the best thing for the Raynham community on this particular piece of land. Now, the land is unique in that there is over a mile river frontage on the Taunton River. And the Tonic River is now a scenic river, so it's everyone is interested in preserving it as much as possible and also making it accessible for the people of Raynham. Across the river in Taunton, I owned 45 acres, and we did the Wildland Trust. We did a sale and write-off with them on that, and we're going to make it a preserve for Gary Lopes as part of the deal. So that is in Wildland Trust. They're interested in the conservation part of the land that we're not going to build on in Raynham also, and we've worked with the NRCS and put an easement on it. They didn't want invasive species growing there. They didn't want farming, so we've done that. And when we did the deal with them, we knew that Raynham should have access to that river, and we took out a piece so that there could be a parking lot and access to the Taunton River for the town of Raynham, but we haven't done anything with them. And then the Wildland Trust, I believe they own the, what do you call the Oxbow? Yeah, the Oxbow. And I think they thought they could get across Oldfields and the Buddhists, but I think there's some problem with their easement now. So they want to come across ours.
So I guess,
So we want to do a win-win for the whole community.
all right, well, let's,
So what we want to build is 60 market condominiums rather than 134 apartments.
Where's our jurisdiction?
wait. Let's all stay organized here.
Okay.
Is that, you want to build regular condominiums?
Right.
On the same piece of property?
Yeah, well, on the same piece of property that the 40B could be built?
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's not exact, it's adjacent to it, but it's part of all my ownership.
Okay, so, that whole parcel is all business owned.
Right, the whole thing.
And even if we wanted to say that's a great idea, let's bring the plans in and we sign it, unless you get a zoning, unless you go for a zoning change,
Yeah.
it's gonna be kinda hard for this board to approve anything, because you can't build a residential subdivision in business.
No, you could build 55 and older housing,
Well, that's,
but you can't build,
exactly, that's.
you can't build non-age
You
restricted.
can't, right. It's
Ah.
basically, you can't do a residential subdivision in business, 55 and older is the exclusion. It's
That's the only thing you could
It's the
do,
only thing that you can do. So,
Yeah. and that doesn't work.
well, whether it works or not,
I
that's the law, that's the way it's
Yeah,
written. So
exactly.
even if we thought it was a good idea, it has nothing to do with, us.
No.
You would have to go in front of the town for zoning change.
Yeah.
And if the town would, have a good argument, and if they were all in favor of it, I think the issue you would have would be spot zoning with, having this residential piece within all the business. So, Rick, you had something to add to,
You answered the question.
Chris, what were you, now the
I was
100,
just wondering what, I mean, it's,
the remaining units that you have for 40B are
134.
133 units left.
Yeah.
If the other parcel is where you're gonna be building the residential condos
Right.
that abuts that,
Yes.
if you had the right to do that anyway, why give up the 130 units or 33 units of apartments?
Because we're just happy with, we could build the 60 market condominiums, so we would give it up. The only thing we wouldn't want to do is, we'd want to get the sewer permit that we got for the 225 and the water fees that we prepaid. We'd want to get the credit for that for the 60 units, but we'd give up the other 74 units.
I even question whether the sewer permits are still good. Back then, they were good for 5 years. When you get a sewer extension.
They're good for a 40B, but I don't know if they're good for, that's what I mean, we'd want to make that, we paid it, and we paid,
Well, sewer you pay as you go. I don't know what you paid for the sewer, but you pay per unit, so must not have paid it. I mean, when you do a sewer, well, how did you do it with,
we did it with the city of Taunton.
how, when it's in Raynham?
You didn't have sewer. So we went
In
through them, we
87?
did work down at Taunton on 138. We brought it up South Street,
Over 20 years ago.
and the permit's in there. We brought up South Street and paved South Street with Harry Carey in 1980s.
I'd have to,
That's,
I'd have
that,
to revisit that.
Conceivable that you and the city of Taunton made a deal.
yeah.
Because, I mean, Frank Cabral signed the permit.
Huh?
Frank Cabral signed the
Yeah, is he
permit.
still around?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What
I
kind
mean
of
that.
TV?
Yes, I mean, we made the deal, and we brought the sewer up, the
Approval recommended ton.
assisted living that was built there tied into the sewer, or the nursing home, tied into the sewer I brought up. I paved South Street.
Yeah, I'd have to do some
Yeah.
research on it and revisit it and see what the
But
deal
even
is,
if,
but it's,
Well, say
even
it's
if we, again.
yeah, I'd
I
assume
think
it
the-
isn't from
The whole
87.
issue is the zoning.
Yeah.
The zoning is the
Right.
big issue. That's something that, I don't even think the Board of Appeals, you can go for a use variance. They can't even allow, give a use variance. So the only way that you can get the zoning changed is a town meeting. It's not something that, this board can do, Board of Appeals can do. So I'm not sure how we can help you, Henry.
Is he asking us whether we like the idea? And
What
so
I'm
when
asking, what's
he go
what we
for
get
the zoning change, whether we'll be in back of him, or what is he asking us?
I don't know.
I think he's asking, he's saying that he will give up the remaining 40B if there's some way that we can allow him to build 60.
No, I understand what he's asking.
If the
but what's he
134
asking
units were
us?
worth building, they would have been built back in
What
1990.
I'd really like is
That's a
if you
threat.
had a zoning change that allowed in a business zone of 20-plus acres that had sewer and water accessibility to allow 3 market rate condos per acre.
Wouldn't that
And
be
you'd still have to go
spot
to planning
Yeah.
board for a special permit.
Wouldn't that be spot zoning? though?
No, because you'd do it in the whole town.
Yeah, if it was a part of the business, that would be something, again, that would have to go in front of the town meeting and have
But
to,
you would bring it, not me.
and have to have a vote.
I mean, I'm not in favor of it myself.
I can't hear you.
I'm not for it, to tell you the truth. I don't see doing that. I don't, what are we supposed to get this floodplain land out of the deal? Because all this stuff goes underwater by 6, 8 feet. I mean, it's not, can't build on it anyway. So it's not like we're getting anything that we don't already have. Then we get access to a place that's, some of it's so overgrown down there, you can't even get to the river.
Do you want to reply to what Chris just said?
Pardon me?
Did you hear what Chris
Is
just
this
said?
what the deal is? We're getting enticed by this piece of land we would be
No,
getting?
You get a parking lot, you get access to a river you don't have.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Again, I think it's something that you're looking for the board to
you
be
feel-
the
So you'd
proponent
rather
of
have
the-
me go, what you're saying, Chris, is you'd rather have me go build the 134 units?
Yeah,
I'll sell it.
well, I'm taking that as a threat because I think you're
No, I'm
already
not
done it,
trying-
but I mean,
no,
if that's,
I'm just
go
asking.
ahead and do it, knock yourself out. I mean, I don't think, if it was practical to do, you would have already done it. I mean, why would you wait 25 years and say, okay, now I'm gonna put these 134 units in that I've been permitted for?
Yeah, maybe there
Because we're
wasn't,
building other towns.
yeah,
We-
maybe there's not a demand for it. Wasn't doing that.
Well, and
Like
and
that.
even whether
Doesn't make
that's the
sense.
case or not, that's really not the question. The question is the planning board willing to sponsor a change on town floor to allow residential and business zoned? I think it would be, he's asking us if we would sponsor it, it would be our article that would go in front of the town to allow business or to allow residential housing in business zone. And you would have added 20 acres or something.
Yeah, and you would, and they'd still have to go to you for a special permit, is what we're suggesting, what I'm suggesting.
As long as it's coming back to us for.
I want to give it some more thought, but, how do we feel about a condominium project versus whatever kind of business we might have there? Which do we think would be better for the town?
Well, it comes back to us for a special permit, so that would be one of the things we would address. Economically, is a commercial better for the town, or is
Yeah, but
more
once
school
they-
kids better for the
But
town?
how are you gonna tell one guy that he can do it
Then you'll-
somewhere and then, Paramount Drive,
Well, something's not gonna be developed, realistically as a business that somehow got zoned business, why not put something else up there?
but that's not the case here.
But you'd end up.
There's a lot of business
There's a lot of
down there.
business in town, so you'd end up opening up all the business zones in town and condos.
Well, is that a
They'd have
bad
to have
thing?
28.
Yeah,
I
is
don't
that a
know.
bad thing? You know, one of the things that, that we keep hearing about centralized, put stuff near rail stations, combine things, put the residential in with the business, So I'm not commenting directly on Doug's, proposal.
In
but-
general, yeah.
But in general, is that really a bad thing, that type of zoning change? We can always fine tune it to the way we like.
I'd want to give it some thought, but looking at this piece, you've got 100 feet of frontage that runs back 400 feet before it opens up?
No.
Well, roughly.
Yeah.
For a business, this particular piece of land, what kind of business you going to put in there? There's
have no
there's
idea.
no frontage or anything.
Who is going to go back into the business?
On the other hand, you got it would be a nice entrance going back 400 feet before people have a nice community. Yeah, for this particular piece of land, it might not be a bad idea. But the overall concept, I think we should think about
No, I think we need to think about it,
and
too.
give it some more thought. I'm certainly not ready to say yes tonight, but it's.
I don't think he's asking us to.
No, but it's worth considering.
We waited 25 years, we're gonna, but we haven't been sitting doing nothing for 25 years.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, and again, I think it's something it's gonna affect,
The entire town of Raynham, if
Yeah.
we go forward and take the step to promote this at town meeting. So I think that, like Greg said, I think it's got to take some thinking about from everybody.
Yeah.
And I think even town planner should weigh in on it. And I even think town council is going to have to weigh in on it, because I think it's going to affect an awful lot, past and going forward. I think selectmen ought to weigh in on it.
Yeah,
So it's not just
No,
it's
I-
not a quick thing to do. I think it's something that would really change the dynamic of Raynham in general. For the good or for the bad, I don't know. Just as we're talking here, like Henry said, it's up for discussion. So whether it changes it for the good or for the bad.
I know we're doing, and if you get a chance, you should all go look at it. We're doing the Foxborough State Hospital redevelopment there. We've been in there for 4 years, and we tore down the hospital buildings and are building townhouses in there, and they love it. And of the 50 condominiums that were built so far, which are 2, 3, and 4 units, there's only less than 10% children. And it's the starter person, the single women, the couples, and it's people that sell their house. So we built the fields for the town in there, the baseball, soccer, football fields. So it was a win-win. In fact, I'm going there tonight. One of the pieces there that another developer had, we split the development with another person. He had 55 and older, he went broke, we bought the land in the town. We're going at 7:15 tonight to get that restriction to 55. We're not gonna build it if it's 55 and older, because it takes too much of a segment out of the buying population, probably 75%.
Other
But that'd be a
question,
good development to look at. I'll talk to that town planner.
Chris?
question I have on this 134, I'd have to have the flood zone verified, because I'm looking on one map and it shows that you can't build these units, that's your own map, and then I'm
No, we're
looking
gonna
on
push
this
it
and it
over.
shows you could.
Well, we're
but-
gonna push it over to where we can build. Where the 60 units are?
In other words, I question if you can actually put these in here. I'd have to, it's showing the flood zone, but it's not showing an actual elevation and a contour line. And just by my experience in past years chasing cows out here that would hang on the island, this whole thing goes under, a lot of it does.
Well, again, I was-
I'd question the 134, the actual buildability. Maybe that's not why maybe that's why they're not there, because they're actually in floodplain.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, and even whether it's.
One issue is this piece of property and trade for the town getting something and what is the town getting versus the overall concept of, do we want more condos in town? Again, this particular piece has so little frontage, what kind of business are you gonna get in there? You know, parking trucks out back or something, or a warehouse, something that needs no visibility. Is this a better piece of property? And there are other properties like that in town. So I'd like to think about the overall concept.
Why was this zone business, Burke?
That whole street's zone business.
Whole street zone
Has
business
been
down to the
for
old field property.
a long time. And why, I'm not sure. One thing I'd like to know, living down the street from Chestnut Farms, we have 240 units, 40B units. I'd love to know how many children are in there.
You know, Rich McCarthy actually did that study, because I asked him to do it many years ago, so maybe our town planner can pull his results. It was surprisingly not as high as you would have thought it would
Well,
be.
and I remember back with the permitting, you know, obviously people getting up saying you're going to have 4,000 kids in there, and they said, oh, no, you know, studies show we're only going to have, and their numbers were right on, as I
Yeah.
remember it.
If I recall, it was Bill Rose that represented them, I think.
Could be.
It's 40B, but still.
It's only 25%. But the good thing about apartments is that we get credit for 100% of the apartments.
Right,
Towards our 40B numbers.
Right.
As opposed to condominiums, that we only get, 25%.
the actual number, yeah.
And I think, people who hear 40B, they, in the past, they were shaken up a little bit. You drive by that place across from you, I see Range Rovers coming out, BMWs.
That's the
I see a lot of nice vehicles parked in the parking lot. So, for
It's the
40B,
same-
they got a swimming pool, they got a rec room, they got all these nice amenities. So,
Now, 40B is a misnomer. It's middle class. It's nothing else than that. I mean, I have a project right back of me and next to me, that whole parcel that you used to own.
Yeah.
It turned out beautiful. The light pollution is minimal for that type of a project.
Light pollution is my only complaint with Chestnut Farm.
Mhm. Well, I think it's more open where you are.
Mhm.
I still have 138 that offsets it, so we had it there before anyways. But, the project near me is very nice.
So I think it's something that we'll, as a board individually, I'm sure we'll go home, we'll think about it, and I think when town planner comes back, I myself will ask him to, maybe do some digging for information, just so he can present it to the rest of the members of the board.
And I think he should talk to the Foxborough town planner.
And
Or
now,
Easton.
now the Foxborough, that's the one that you were saying, that's the hospital?
Yeah,
What was the zoning on that?
they did, it was from the state, so it was empty for 30 years.
Yeah.
So they did a overlay district with the town and the state. But, like I said, in fact, I'm going there tonight, this last 45 units was 55 and older. The first developer on that portion of it, we split it with another developer, he went broke on it. We bought it, but we're going to the town not to build, just to build market rate, no age restriction.
Yeah, and I think it's something that, even without speaking to another town, I think it's something that we have to look at our own town.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Figure out what we have of our business areas, and how we're gonna be able to tell one person yeah, one person no, or restrict. There's a lot to it.
No, definitely.
So it's something that we really have to take some thought and discussion, some consideration.
That's why I thought if they had to come back, anyone, for a special permit, that you still have, but I don't.
You're right, though, you can't tell one guy,
Yeah,
allowed
and
it,
that's- That's a tough, they can come in front of us where we may be the special permit granting authority, but still, it has to be
So you don't-
pretty outlined.
You don't want to
What-
write a bylaw just for one piece of land,
Yeah, so,
you know?
but we'll take it,
Okay.
we'll think about it, and I'm sure we'll have some discussion on it. And maybe we will, when the town planner, we talk with him, and we'll,
And give you a call.
yeah, invite you back, or we'll have, think about something.
All right?
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, town planner, not here. Bills? No bills?
No bills.
Minutes?
I think we have minutes.
Motion, we waive the reading and approve the minutes of February 6, 2014.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I have no correspondence. And believe it or not, our next meeting is March 6th. I am absolutely dumbfounded how fast, how slow the snow is sticking around and how fast winter's, and how fast
Shit, but we don't have rain.
March is already coming.
This coming up is up near Trukey's. We've had several proposals up on that area.
Well, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's the landlocked piece right on 495 that you enter it through the Trukey's parking lot.
On March 6th, we have
Yes.
6:10 public hearing for All-American Assisted Living Facility site plan.
We had people, I think, came in
No
for
hotel then?
They were gonna
long-term
put a
hotel.
Yeah,
Remember the long-term hotel?
Yep.
They lost their
extended
financing.
stay.
Extended stay, yeah.
Yeah, they
Thank you.
lost their financing on that, I think.
So, we wish those people who love to watch us, we had more for you tonight, but we don't. So, if that's all, meeting adjourned.
Yeah, that was Raynham Precast.
Yeah.